Hi everyone, thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. I want to talk a bit about Tulsi Gabbard, who is making the news for leaving the Democratic Party. It's something that people have seen coming for some time. Very interestingly, she was a real rising star in that party. Very popular, really looked like she had the potential to go a long way. And then she kind of crashed and burned and has now taken up a career just telling right-wingers pretty little lies that they want to hear. And a lot of that comes out in her tweet. We actually see some of what made her interesting and compelling and what got her into trouble with the Democrats in the first place. And then we'll see in her tweet also signs of her transition into being kind of a court jester for the other side, the other party, for Republicans, telling Republicans and right-wingers what they want to hear. So I'll start off by reading her tweet here and then commenting a bit on her. She said, "I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that is now under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers, driven by cowardly wokeness who divide us by racializing every issue and stoke anti-white racism, actively working to undermine our God-given freedoms, are hostile to people of faith and spirituality, demonize the police and protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, believe in open borders, weaponize the national security state to go after political opponents, and above all, dragging us ever closer to nuclear war." That's quite a big word salad in there. So some things pointing to her earlier convictions, the things that she has consistently stood up for, and then also in there just kind of a lot of virtue signaling to the other side of politics, to the right wing, just basically telling them, yes, I will say what you want me to say, so have me on your shows. And that's kind of seems to be where her career is now, just appearing on right-wing shows and telling them what the kind of things they want to hear. And so I want to take us back a few years to what made her interesting in the first place. She was, a fairly typical liberal Democrat politician. She was, pro healthcare and pro Bernie Sanders, one of the progressive leftists. But then she was truly anti-war, and not in the safe way, that so many people go. It's not enough to just say we need less military spending and I'm against the Iraq war. Those are some pretty safe anti-war positions that a lot of Democrats and even Republicans take, but she went after the Syrian war and she gave a voice to the Syrian people, which was a huge no-no, and basically got her blacklisted. So it was interesting to see how that happened, how when she told the truth about Syria, or at least was honest about her opinion on Syria. I won't say the truth, because that's so much of that is subjective. I'm not saying that she was right about everything, but she was willing to actually have some honesty about the war in Syria and give a voice to the Syrian people, talk about what they have suffered at the hands of America and America's proxies. And that pretty much ended her political career. It was kind of amazing to watch how that happened. And so, the poor woman, she couldn't catch a break from her own party, and so she now is ended up making a living in right-wing media, just kind of telling right-wingers the kind of things that they want to hear. And you see that in this tweet here, just checking these boxes of virtue signaling, anti-white racism, cowardly wokeness, open borders. Yeah, I wish the Democrats were pro-open borders. And interestingly enough, back when she was a congresswoman, she was in support of some very far-left social justice kind of things, and good things, in my opinion, kind of the good side of left-wing politics. She was very much for criminal justice reform. She was for slavery reparations. It's kind of the things doing right by people, making things right, and giving people a break. Those are the things that show up in politics from time to time with some very bold, brave people that actually do line up with Christian values of just doing what's right for people. Isaiah 58, Matthew 5, 6, and 7 type stuff, if you know what I'm talking about. But she unfortunately couldn't catch a break with her own party, and so ended up making a career in right-wing media. And that brings us to the sad point that there aren't many impressive people, or really any impressive or strong people in politics, in American politics. I don't know about every country, but it seems like overall, and I think this is a worldwide phenomenon, where the political class is getting weaker, dumber, and more prone to selling out. But I especially see it in America, which I watch more than other places, where, you know, you'll have once in a lifetime people like a Ron Paul, maybe, who is actually pretty consistent, pretty brave, but by and large, people sell out. People are weak. People are not going to really stick to their guns, and they sell out, and they'll take the money. They'll take that route of convenience when things get tough. So it's a very cruel, crushing system, and it took someone like Tulsi Gabbard. The system crushed her, broke her career, and now she is yet another one of these, I call them court jesters, who has found a way to appeal to a certain power class, take their money, and tell them the things they want to hear. And this happens on all sides of politics. You know, people come in brave, they're throwing punches, and then they hit the wall, they find that ceiling. You know, they find that, you know, they have said things that will simply not allow them to go any further, and so they find their route, they take their money, and they find some way to have a career, some way to appeal to the right power group who will pay them, and that's what happened to Rand Paul, happened to Tulsi Gabbard, happened to Ilhan Omar, who Tulsi Gabbard at one time stood up for when everyone was throwing Ilhan Omar under the bus. Tulsi Gabbard, back when she herself was brave and outspoken, stood up for Ilhan Omar. It's happened to Bernie Sanders, you know, who was a bit of a radical in his own way, and, you know, he's kind of kissed the ring of American foreign policy, which really drives so much of the rot and corruption in politics. It breaks people. It's really something. It's really a sad situation, just the way the system breaks people and makes them weak and makes them subservient. And so here we have a case, yeah, an interesting woman. She was, I think, the best of the Democratic candidates for the 2020 primary, and her party turned on her and broke her, and she herself apparently wasn't terribly strong, because now she is just peddling virtue signaling talking points to the American right. Well, thanks for watching. God bless you. Bye for now.